Ladies and gentlemen, we are back up in your face. Once again, it's your boy Shaun Q, my partner, like always.
J. Roman.
He was bobbing. He was behind. He was bobbing and weaving. Together we
Oh,
are OSP.
am I delayed on your side? My bad.
No. You were bobbing and weaving. I saw your head was bobbing. You were too into the music that doesn't exist. Call back to your boy.
Always in here.
We we are OSP, and we're gonna get right into what's popping. What's popping right now is we have our good friend Lil Bro. We got Jamal Ocho Cinco. You know how many times I had to read your Instagram tag before I realized that's what it's. Like, damn, Jamal got some Puerto Rican in him. Okay, we got our boy Jamal in the building. Jamal, say what's up to the people.
How's it going, guys? I know we had talked about this like a year ago, coming on the podcast, but I'm glad I'm finally on. I mean, shitty circumstances, but you know, gotta make it work.
Speaking of a year ago, do you guys know what today's anniversary is?
What the first COVID case in America?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, I was gonna say
today, December 5th, is the first announced COVID case. So there we go. Speaking of anniversary a year ago. It was a good segue. It was perfect.
It was. It was. We were just chopping up a little bit before we started the episode, and I was talking about something that I've realized exists in America that I would like to share with the people. I'm about to school y'all right now. I'm about to give y'all some knowledge about some stuff that y'all don't really know about.
Preach.
There is another form of white privilege that I bet a lot of y'all weren't aware of.
Another form?
Oh yeah, it is white girl privilege.
Oh,
yeah.
I think now, obvious number one.
You would think so, but people think it's the same thing. I don't want this to be lumped up. I don't want people to think that when you hear white privilege, it just spans across all boards. No.
Okay.
There is white privilege, and then there is white girl privilege. Now, in our society, most American women of whatever race aren't used to having that fear of getting punched in the face like every guy has. Bill Burr said it. He goes, Bill Burr was like, a lot of reasons why the women act the way they do is because it's not socially acceptable for women to just start fighting in a bar or something like that. So they have a different mentality. They don't have that innate fear that most men have, where if I go too far with this dude, he might punch me in my fucking face. A lot of women don't have that fear. Now you add that to white privilege, and it is white girl privilege, which is a privilege all its own. It is where you get the phrase, what the fuck are you gonna fucking do about it? That's where that phrase comes from.
You and I have been in the restaurant business for 20 years. I mean, you're still in it, but that was obvious then, though, because we were in very white areas that had white girls everywhere.
So what I'm saying is people are putting these videos out about these Karens, and you're not seeing a lot of guys in these videos. Just know that that's white girl privilege. There's tons of white guys who are taking advantage of white privilege, who are living their lives a certain way because they have that white privilege. But white girl privilege is some other level shit. And a lot of the phrases I hear when they're like, yo, listen, the governor's going to shut everything down. He wants to get everybody in the house. It's mainly white girls who are like, I would like to see him fucking try.
And I know that tone. I know that tone.
Yeah. We all have heard that tone when a white girl hits a certain level in her voice, a certain cadence hits. You're like, oh, well, here comes the Karen. That's the white girl privilege. Who the fuck do you think you are? Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's, I just want to put that to the people. White girl privilege is a real thing. You don't have to Google it. It exists. We all know of it.
Just go outside.
Yeah, I was going to get on that. As soon as the show was over, I was going to get on white girl privilege Googling.
How do I look that up? Oh, it's going to be a hashtag. Trust me. Real quick, we want to get to the holla back questions. We asked 2 holla back questions in the past couple weeks to the fans, to the OSP fam. And I'm going to tell you 2 of my favorite responses right now. One of the questions we asked was not a question, really. We said, when we were talking on the last episode about LeVar Burton possibly replacing Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. And we said, if everybody was okay with it, do you think it's a good idea? You and I, J. Roman, thought it was a good idea. Jamal, do you think that'd be a good idea or no? I don't know if you're old enough to know who LeVar Burton is with your young ass.
Know who LeVar Burton is. Okay. I've seen Roots a million times. I used to watch Reading Rainbow.
Listen, hold on. Time out. Time out.
That's even further back than we're talking.
Time out. First of all,
yeah, man.
Done. Second of all, as a black man, I can tell you, you should only watch Roots so many times. 1 million is too many.
In high school, we had to watch it like twice, like because we It was a long
school was that?
Like, so my junior year, we were learning about like pivotal points in American history. So we watched part 1 of Roots in the beginning, and then we watched the last part of Roots at the end.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah.
Damn. Did you go to Malcolm X Junior High? Because they didn't show that in my school.
No, our history teacher was a pretty like progressive old white dude.
Huh.
And like he was all like hardcore like for like Obama's because Obama's reelection was during my senior year. So
wow, okay.
Yeah. So he was all for his second term started.
So sometimes we just forget age gaps here mean something.
I always forget how young this dude is until he says some young shit and reminds me how fucking old we are. That's cool.
So yeah.
Oh man.
Burden is. I mean that would be cool for Jeopardy. I think that would be a nice little thing for the show. I mean, I'm all for black game show hosts. So why not?
I like it. So the answer that most people we got, it was like 85% said, yeah, they agree. The other 15%, I mean, they disagree, but I'm sure, I would hope they have somebody better in mind. Like I didn't ask the follow-up question, like if not LeVar Burton, who would you want? But it was almost a resounding yes. The other question we asked was, has somebody dropped out of your top 5? Now, we ever asked who's in your top 5, we start with hip hop. Who's your top 5 rappers of all time? So we asked the question, has somebody fallen out of your top 5 because of their out of the studio politics or their lifestyle, out of their music, outside of their music? And different people had different responses. Like I know Eric Lucas said Lil Wayne fell out of his because he was a huge Trump supporter. And Eric, like I know, he said he lost Lil Wayne from his because of that. Most people said not really, but our good friend, Jumpin' Joe, shout out to Joe, who's blowing up on Spotify, by the way. He had my favorite response. He said, there are 2. He said, Lil Wayne for fake gangbanging.
From day one, though.
He's like, fake gangbanging, Lil Wayne fell out. And his other one, which is very similar to my brother's reason, he said, Biggie, because he has something to do with it.
What? Huh?
Any Tupac fan who listens to Biggie is like, Biggie fell out. Why? Because I think that nigga has something to do with it. Yeah, listen, some of us ain't gonna let that go. He had something to do with it.
But didn't Biggie die first?
No. What? See, that's some young nigga shit right there. No, he died after.
It was 6 months difference, but it was Tupac first. So
it was Tupac first, and Tupac is probably the reason why Biggie got killed because they said it was a retribution killing. Yeah, the nigga tried to kill my father. They that was my shout out.
Damn.
Like, yeah, it was that was Joe's response. I like that one. That was my favorite. Let's get into some things that's happening. One, I don't know if you saw it, Jay Roman. I watched it. I don't know if Jamal saw it. If you saw the Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. fight, did y'all see it?
I saw highlights.
Same.
I mean, the rules kind of turned me off to watching it live, so I was like, I'll just wait till it shows up on Twitter to watch it.
I watched the whole fight front to back, and the rules, they kind of changed the rules because the rules were ridiculous. And I guess they tweaked them like the day of the fight or the day before. But the two fighters went in knowing what the rules were. And on one side, you have what is technically not a fight. It was a sparring match. It was an exhibition. It was two old dudes showing they still got it and they still love the sport. It's kind of like a senior game when you see these old-ass golfers come out. They're like, oh, look at Phil Mickelson go at it with Jack Nicklaus. And it's one of those. Like, you appreciate the entertainment value of it, but it wasn't a fight. If it were a fight, Mike Tyson won the fight in the first round because in the first round, he went for his signature two-piece with a biscuit with the hook to the body. And when he was about to go to the head, he refrained. He pulled back, gave a couple of body shots. He did that about twice in the first round, again in the second round. Roy Jones had one in the fourth where he could have, like, dug into Tyson. Same thing. He clinched him instead. So this was two old dudes who didn't want to hurt each other. And Mike put it best at the end when they were like, hey, would you ever do this in a non-exhibition format? He goes, no, of course not. We both have our championships. We both have done everything we want to do with our careers. Why would we come out and try to hurt each other? He's like, well, nigga, I wish we had said that before we paid $50 for the fight.
$50? Y'all ridiculous.
$50. See, this is why y'all got to get on the. Man, you guys got to get on the illegal streams, man.
Yeah.
I went old school and watched it at a bar. And
Yeah.
the good thing about it was our good friend, which we all know, Curtis Millender, he said some cool shit when we're getting ready to watch the fight. He said, I can't believe I'm about to be at a bar with a drink in my hand and watch Mike Tyson fight. And I was like, for that, I didn't appreciate that until that moment. Because I was like, man, Tyson, you too over this shit. And it's not even a real fight. And then that part, I was like, yeah, because most of us, when we saw Tyson, like Jay and I, we were what, young, mid-teenagers? We were
like little kids.
Yeah. We were kids. So the idea that we could have that feeling that our parents had and watch Mike Tyson fight as an adult, like in a bar, that was some dope shit.
Yeah.
And for that, I appreciated the nostalgia value of the fight. That and Nate Robinson got knocked back into Uncle Drew status.
I didn't know Nate Robinson was that old. I didn't know he was in his late 30s.
So
I thought he was younger than that for some reason.
That's because he's only 5'9", and he in his mind he was young. Late 30s is not the time to start a boxing career. Like who the fuck?
So
maybe a rap career, not boxing.
So maybe you know more information about this one. What was up with that fight? It felt like to me it was one of those things where they used to set up those fights. I think on like MTV or some crap like that. Where these celebrity boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But not even the death match, the real one. Where sometimes Butterbean would come out. Like, are these guys really entering a boxing career, or is it just a thing just for charity or some crap?
Well, I guess
lost on this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I guess like Nate Robinson was watching one of Jake Paul's fights because Jake Paul's had a couple pro fights already, and Nate Robinson like tweeted at him and said, "Man, like you haven't fought anybody. Like I can get in the ring with you and knock you out." So that's kind of where it started from.
It started, Jake Paul is a YouTube sensation who started boxing. He's only 23. He's a fucking kid.
Oh, he's only 23. Oh, I didn't know that.
He started boxing, and he wasn't bad at it. He had a couple of good fights. And, Nate Robinson was like every old brother was like, come on, white boy. You ain't that nice. I could take you. And then he decided he wanted to take up boxing, and he got the Doctor Strange knocked out of him. This nigga left his body. It was insane. But it's one of those, like you didn't learn from it. So Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson. Because Nate Robinson thought, if he could do it, I could do it. Then Jake Paul's like, well, listen, I want Conor McGregor. Don't do that. Listen to me.
I saw that.
Conor McGregor has been doing this for years. Even if you thought he just boxed once, he boxed the greatest doing it. And he lasted a bunch of rounds. Conor McGregor would knock you the fuck out, Jake Paul. Don't do this. Don't be the Nate Robinson of that scenario. Because if it does go down, which I don't know why Conor McGregor would even take that fight. It's out of his price range. It's not. They can't raise enough money for him to fight that dude. He would hurt.
TikTok's not funding that for sure.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah,
they're not putting up. They're not putting up 150 mil for that.
Not at all.
So, I guess we'll get into it a little later. But so I was gonna say, you hear that Tyson said he smoked weed before the match?
Of course, he smoked weed before the match. He smokes weed every day.
I know, but before the match, I guess it was normal to him. I was like, right before the match. I mean, wouldn't you think? I guess because it has been a long time, so kind of weird.
Didn't Tyson used to do like hardcore shit before fights? Like,
well, yeah, I guess coke and all that stuff, but
so
it's just kind of odd. Like, because to me, marijuana is supposed to relax you, isn't it? So why would you want to be relaxed when you go into a boxing match?
So you wouldn't kill Roy Jones?
I was thinking that too. I did think that. Like,
yeah, it's to calm his nerves. I mean, boxing is about being relaxed. You want to relax
or
make it do what you want to do. But at the same time, you need to pull those punches without that weed in the system.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been high off weed maybe 5 times my whole life. I do remember one of them. I felt kind of numb, and I tried to slap box a friend of mine, and he slapped the shit at me. but I didn't feel it. But I couldn't feel anything. I was like, so maybe that was the thing. Maybe it had the effect of that. So, and what sucks is I was not trained. My friend was training in boxing, and he just like slap, 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 and I was like, all right, I can't do this.
Slap boxing while you're high is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Fuck, I want to see a sport.
It was really dope.
Start that. I mean, I'm not gonna participate. I'm a drunk. I don't smoke. But I want to see some people getting high slap box.
MSL, the Marijuana Slapboxing League, or SLBL. There you go.
That's a lot of letters. I want to see that. That sounds dope to me. I mean, man. I just saw a thing where Peyton Manning asked Marshawn Lynch. He goes, "What was your pregame ritual?" He was like, "Well, I would take a shot before every game. You know what I mean, maybe a shot, maybe 2 shots." And Peyton's confused. He goes, shot of, and he was like, come on, man, that Henny. On his best Marshawn, he's like, come on, man, that Henny. I was taking shots of that Henny before the game. This nigga Marshawn Lynch said he would take a shot or two of Henny before a game. And if that ain't the blackest shit I've heard all year.
Right? Marshawn Lynch runs like he drinks Hennessy on a daily.
Oh, my gosh.
And when he said that, every black person who saw that was like, well, yeah, of course he does.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, he takes a shot of Henny before the game.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
He said, man, I want to just like Allen Iverson was to basketball. Marshawn Lynch is the most niggerish football player of all time.
Oh my god! Can you imagine him sitting next to Russell Wilson in the locker room, just chugging a shot of Hennessy, and Russell's just like, "Word?"
Like we getting down like that? He's like, "Hey man, you got to get them runs up." What? What?
Oh man.
That so yeah, it didn't surprise me that Tyson was high before the fight and that Marshawn takes shots of Henny before a game. None of that shit surprised me.
We got to do a whole show on weird pre-game stuff. This is nuts.
Some shit that athletes do that we didn't know about. Yeah, that I didn't know that. To see the best part about that little interview, Peyton Manning's face. Peyton Manning represented white America in that speech. He was like, "So what do you do?"
Peyton was like, "Wait,
right? Let me see if I can replicate his giant forehead." So, what do you do before a game? And he was like, shot maybe 2. And Peyton's face just like he thought he meant like cortisone or something. He's like, no man, that Henny, that brown. You know what I mean? Get that in me.
Oh damn.
I mean, can you be surprised by a dude that eats Skittles on the bench? Like, come on.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
come on.
I think Peyton Manning was more taken aback because he's never played with anyone like that. Like maybe Reggie Wayne, but I think Reggie Wayne's fucking shooting Hennessy before a game.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You know what? As a matter of fact, this is a perfect segue. We have something later in the notes. We're going to bring it up now. The NBA is going to stop testing for weed this year. So these players are going to have the ability to be high or, get high on a regular basis outside of work, I guess. I'm not sure how they're going to have that stuff going and be high. So that's going to be really interesting to see because when I'm watching, if I see somebody do some funky shit on the screen, I'm like, yeah, they high. They smoked before. They smoked out. They smoked out too much this week. Especially if you see cats can't run up and down anymore. You're like, oh, you've been smoking too much because it's been crazy off season, and now they can smoke weed without getting tested. I don't know what's gonna happen. Check this out. Real quick, check this out though. I think they just voted it today or yesterday. The UN, the United Nations, has now taken marijuana off the high-class, powerful drug list and put it on the low-class drug list that goes along with like other medical drugs and stuff like that. It was in the same classification as heroin, and they just reduced it down to the level of like aspirin.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right? Like the UN. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, okay, so this might be opening the door because for a lot of other things because a lot of countries base their policies on drugs off what the UN says."
Mm-hmm.
So it's changing a lot of stuff, and they just had a House bill in the House of Representatives that got support for legalizing marijuana federally. So it's probably not going to pass in the Senate because for some reason the Republican-owned Senate thinks that they're above drugs, which we know that's bullshit because they're all on some opioids. Well, whatever, So we ain't going to go there with that shit, but it's kind of crazy. Like, weed. We were so vilified when we were younger for smoking some weed. And you know what? A big reason why some people don't do drugs is because it's classified illegal for their whole lives. And all of a sudden, when it is legal, they're like, "Oh, I want to try it or whatever," because it's not that it's not so dangerous. But now I'm like, wait. Should I go smoke weed now? Because it seems to be it's going to be okay to be high, just not at work. When we get drug tested in my job, I'm not sure if it's random, but we get drug tested to get hired. So I'm not sure if it still would be an issue if federally it becomes legal. They wouldn't be able to tell me shit at that point. And I might get high every now and then.
Might just smoke a blunt or two.
Right?
Before I clock in.
So I don't do anything. I'm a straight edge because I don't really like to be out of myself. So I don't drink. I don't do anything. But I don't think there'd really be anything too bad about having a nice brownie every now and then. You know what I mean? Just chilling. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. It always comes back to food with you, Jay Roman. don't smoke, but you put that shit in some casserole, I'll be high as fuck.
Hey, I heard they work really well, you know?
A couple things. One, somebody said to me once, I'm not gonna mention her name because she should be dead. She said it sucks that with our parents, it said our
That was deep. She should be dead.
Moving on.
You might have to cut that.
Nope, I'm saving that shit. He said it sucks because when we were kids, our parents used to say, you know, don't get high and don't smoke weed and don't be around. And now people are millionaires off selling weed, which means they gave us bad fucking advice. Like that's some bad notes because they didn't know the future would be in marijuana. If they had known, they'd be like, yo, go out there, smoke, slang that shit. So that was some bad parenting advice. But as far as in the NBA, I think a lot of players were still smoking without getting caught. I will give an example. His name is JaVale McGee. I am under the impression that JaVale McGee was high every game.
Especially in the bubble.
The only way you can be on Shaq and the Fool that many times is if you were somewhat high.
He was like the Shaq and the Fool king for a minute.
Dude, you go back and look at some of the things you did, and he said, yeah, I was high before every game. You would go, yeah, that shit makes sense. Yeah, of course he was. Yeah, so I don't think it's a new thing. I think now that he won't get tested, but yeah, I don't think it's going to change the game. There are athletes who have built their bodies a certain way who I don't think they're going to be like, oh, cool, we can smoke and just smoke a bunch of blunts before a game. But it might help after a game. It might help. I mean, I don't know. It might help. It might hurt. We don't know. I don't think
it might help for injuries.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change the game dramatically because they're not testing for it at all. I don't think that'll change. Now, if they were like, we're not testing for cocaine, oh, yeah, it'd be a completely different basketball game. Folks, James Harden has been dribbling for 43 minutes.
Now, so you guys, and I got to ask you this, by the way. So you guys both still watch wrestling. So I'm right in this, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I for one, I don't understand. All right. I stopped wrestling. When we stopped living together. Okay. So I've seen it a few times since. What if they started using more drugs or less drugs, or how would that change them?
I think.
Well, I want to hear from Jamal. Jamal, you watch.
Go ahead, because I got a good response.
Because I understand maybe why Shaun watches wrestling, because we grew up like that. But you're much younger than we are, and you still watch it. And I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I can't get into it anymore.
So growing up, I hung around a lot of older kids. So like I got into wrestling because like my older friends and like my uncles and stuff. And growing up, I watched a lot of ECW. So like, you know, Sandman and all those dudes, they're all coked out, jumping off of shit. So, you know, if that came back into wrestling, well, and I run an independent wrestling promotion today.
True.
And I mean, on the independent scene,
what's the name of
Gold Coast Federation. Yeah,
there you go.
And on the independent scene is more than like WWE and AEW and all that. There's still a lot of dudes who are just straight up like in the locker room, like coked out and, you know, just doing all this other shit. Like I've heard like even guys who were used to be WWE guys who wrestle on the indies still do all types of shit before shows.
I feel like you have to.
Yeah, like wrestling's tough. Don't get me like that schedule, traveling, like all that stuff. I get it. It's tough. And if you're doing a show in buttfuck Texas somewhere, yeah, you're gonna do some drugs, you know. So I totally get it. If there were no like hardcore like drug, like I know WWE is probably the only wrestling company that has like a hardcore like, hey, don't show up high, like super random drug test type thing.
Yeah. For
everything except when Brock Lesnar shows up, steroided out. But, you know, that's you know. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. Like, that's still funny to me that Brock Lesnar failed his steroid test at UFC, then came to WWE a month later. And I know John Jones is just looking at the screen and is like, yo, what the fuck?
I know, right?
But I feel like if WWE didn't have a hardcore, like, drug program, a bunch of wrestlers would be drugged out for sure.
I'm sure.
If I may.
Shaun had something similar when you talked about that one cat you had being in the show business. And you're like, how you do this? And he said a lot of coke, something like that. It's like, that kind of makes sense how you could perform 200 days a week, a year,
Cocaine.
The only way to be able to keep up is doing some coke.
Cocaine. If not for heavy drugs, my favorite wrestler of all time wouldn't be my favorite wrestler of all time. There would be no Macho Man without.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man.
If I can guarantee you, almost every Macho Man interview you've ever seen, he was high as shit.
Yeah, you can see that.
Cup of coffee, yeah.
That for sure wasn't all Slim Jims, man. That was definitely
out of his mind. I saw one the other day that had me dying. He was doing an interview with Mean Gene, and for some reason, a phone rang in the back, and he just kept going with it. It was like, he was like, "That's Elizabeth. Tell her to stay home and don't move and dream about me." And stay home and dream about me. I was like, my man, Macho Man is on it. Man, cocaine's a hell of a drug. He was ridiculous. But I mean, wrestling. I feel like at some point in time, between AEW, between GCF, between all these promotions that are coming up, Vince McMahon's going to get to that point where it's going to be hard to compete. And he might be like, look, give everybody in the locker room some coke and send them out there. This is getting out of control.
So, I mean, speaking of that, yeah, there's a lot of like really good organizations out there. I don't remember seeing this many ever to where they all looked pretty good. I remember production in WCW looked like trash compared to WWE, and then it got better.
And they had the most money behind them.
Yeah, so it's just like, but AEW, I was like, well, these guys are good. Like the production value is there. It's almost not identical, but it's close. And like I could see why it's coming up, and why it's so popular even more so. But it still kind of drives me bananas how we're grown and y'all still watching this. And it's like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's so crazy. I understand the moves, but if I could only watch.
Sir, I'm not going to be judged by a nigga that collects Funko Pops. Don't you dare.
Hey, come on, man. Funko Pops are cool, man.
Hey. What? I see that in your corner above your head.
Yeah,
Punk. All right,
that's my one. That was a gift from my good friend Patrick. I will not be judged by a nigga that collects dolls. How dare you? We all have our vices.
Hey, watch who you call them, who you say dolls to. I don't really care, but there's people out there when you call them dolls, they go nuts.
Man. Oh, I know. Just like when you talk shit to wrestling fans, we are fanatics. How dare you? Yo, Jamal, get the table.
This is a for life thing, sir.
I see that. No, I see that. I see that now. My dad and all them, they still watch it to this day. And when I visit, if they got it on, we chill, we watch it together. And, you know, I keep asking them, hey, what happened with this story? Why is this happening? What's happening? That's like a bad movie partner. You know what I mean? It's like they never watch the whole thing or watch the series. And when the finale comes, they want to know everything that happened.
Yep.
Dude. So wrestling is still a male soap opera. It's got all the elements of a male soap opera. When people are like, why do you watch it? Why do women watch fucking As the World Turns? Why is Days of Our Lives on season 73? Because even though it's the same story over and over, it's entertaining. At least in our story, there's blood. People get hurt. Some motherfuckers come up missing. People die in real life. Like, it's a soap opera. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's entertainment at the end of the day. That's what it is. You know what? We got to take a commercial. Let's take a commercial, take a break, and get some I'm gonna get some more bang in me. This is liquid cocaine right now. All right.
I know, man. If we don't get a freaking endorsement from Bang soon, we're gonna have problems.
I don't know how to make it happen, but I'm gonna make it happen. If I hold the can up right, am I doing it right, Jamal? If I just fucking
I don't think you're hot enough. I always see like hot chicks advertising that garbage.
No, I know some ugly dudes that got Bang sponsorship.
Get out.
We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Right? Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open.
Welcome. I'm checking, making sure y'all ain't high.
Was that it?
Making sure during the break y'all didn't get high, because I'm looking at my own eyes and they look fucked up. Anyway,
right, I was like, do something?
No, but to bring it back, we were talking about the wrestling thing, and you got your company. What's the name? Gold Coast Wrestling?
Gold Coast Federation.
Gold Coast Federation. Okay, so that being said, we have vaccines for this coronavirus on the way. We got, and I don't know, you know, of course, but for a lot of our listeners, we are in Southern California, USA. Okay, I say that because we are now in 28 countries. All right, so just in case they don't know, and people down here are still fighting the stay-at-home orders, or that actually just got reissued, the mask issues, the closures, and it's like, you do understand we are at max capacity in our hospitals, which means we're going to go to mass graves soon. That's the next step. Okay, so you are a small business owner, small wrestling company. This has affected you probably big time because you have people that can't go in and out all the time without having to get tested and all that. What are you going to do when these vaccines come along? Are you going to try and like get in the line? Do you put yourself on the list? I'm not sure how it's working yet, but are you going to get everyone tested and vaccinated?
So obviously this pandemic has been crazy for the independent wrestling business. I mean, WWE and AEW still been going on, and they have the money and the funding to get their people tested. And with us, we've actually ran 2 virtual crowdless shows.
Okay.
So, and they went off successfully. We followed, a safety protocols. We had the locker room spaced out. Everybody was 6 feet apart. We sanitized the ring after every match.
Wow.
What else? We took everyone's temperatures. Basically, it was more of like an accountability thing. It was like, yo, if y'all motherfuckers feel sick, don't show up. Let us know.
Yeah.
And yeah, just took every safety precaution. All of us, like all the staff that were there, we all got tested before. I work at the school district, so I have to get tested at work. So, that's just what that is. But yeah, well, our last show, we ran into a lot of hiccups because things were starting to open, but like wrestlers were going out of state to like Vegas and like Arizona. In Arizona, that's another state that they're just like, they don't give a fuck. Like they're doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then Vegas, it's Vegas. Vegas is just dirty. So, so like wrestlers were kind of like whatever on wanting to come out to wrestle because they felt like they weren't going to get tested in time. Guys were asking us if we can ask their opponents to get tested, on short notice. Like all these things, like all these variables that kind of like happen. Or like some wrestlers just had families, like these dudes have kids or they live with like elderly, and they were kind of just like, yeah, like I don't know, like I'm going out of state, I'm coming back, like I kind of just want to quarantine. So like those factors kind of played into it. With the vaccine coming, I've read a lot of things, like especially in California, like a lot of essential workers are going to have to take the vaccine if they want to go back to work. So I don't know if that works for independent contractors. I don't know what they're going to do for small businesses.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, I'm probably going to take the vaccine since I work at a school.
Yep.
And, they're like, yo, we just got to make sure because we've had a couple faculty members pass from COVID. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, I know us specifically, we aren't going to run another show until February. Okay. And we're hoping to have like at least a socially distanced, or who knows what the world's going to be like in February, but like we're still going to play the safety protocols like as much as we can. But yeah, I'm almost certain a lot of the wrestlers are going to, probably get the vaccine. We're probably not going to push for it. Because like all these guys like have their own lives, have their own jobs and stuff.
Of course.
But we're gonna take every like precaution necessary. Like if we're able to have access to like get vaccines for people, then we can. Then we will. But that's gonna be tough. Yeah, it'll be a while for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I think about me and Shaun. Shaun's been in and out of work because of the damn bar, since it all started. I'm considered an essential worker, but they can still shut our industry down, and then we'll just not be working for a while. So it's we're actually waiting on that right now. So they're having meetings right now, deciding our fate come tomorrow, Monday, whatever it's going to be. So we'll see how that goes. So, keep working hard on that. I know you guys, doing your thing. So I appreciate that. And keeping your guys safe where you are, because you guys keep yourself safe. It keeps everyone else around us safe. We've been saying it since the beginning, like, just be smart about it out there. You know what I mean? Shaun said it. I said, don't be stupid. He said, be smart. To me, it's not exactly the same thing, although you want to think it is, but some people are just straight stupid. And you know what? What's his name? Lewis Black said it the other day. There's no vaccine for stupid. You know what I mean? He had me rolling. He had me rolling again, crying again. He said that. I was rolling over my seat in that. I was like, that's so right. Because we got to do at least the little things. You know what I mean? Like at least the little things. It's so
I am
minimal.
going to treat the vaccine the way Jay Roman treats new consoles. I'm gonna wait till the final generation of it comes out.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be first in line to get a vaccine.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna wait to see if some of these motherfuckers start turning into Rick and Morty creatures before I get mine.
Never get the first generation. Never get the first one.
First generation. I'm gonna wait. See if the people around me start melting and shit. I'm like, okay, see, it's a good thing I'll wait it. But I'll probably.
Good thing about it is we have the UK to thank for going to be the first test monkeys.
Yeah.
Because they have already approved their vaccine, so they're going to hold on, baby girl. they're gonna be taking theirs already.
There is a full on, and I'm glad we got Jamal here because he did mention he's a small business owner, and right now we are reaching this point. I just saw a video today. So a lot of these people feel like their freedoms and liberties are being taken away. They feel like if there is a vaccine, people should have the option to take it. People should have the choice to take it.
Yes, of
When
course.
the words like mandatory get thrown out and obligated come out, then people start to get rebellious. I know personally, outside of in Buffalo and a bunch of other places, here in California, we're seeing it where the governor is, like you said, we've reached 15% capacity at our hospitals. And there are a lot of small business owners who are like, you want us to shut down, but you aren't providing us with funding to remain open after this is clear. So they're getting very rebellious and they're like, you know what? Come shut me down. And it doesn't help when, I mean, it's a big deal. I've seen it today. The video I was talking about, the Riverside County Sheriff, also the Orange County Sheriff, the LA County Sheriff, they've all put out messages saying the same thing. Just because the governor said that there's a stay-at-home order doesn't mean we are going to enforce it.
Yeah.
They are saying it is not our jobs to shut down businesses and give out tickets for being out past curfew. And it's not our job to enforce these rules. So it's basically what's happening with the governor of California. And I know other governors in other states. It's kind of like we are all kids and our parents are out of town telling us not to throw a party. It's like Thursday and our parents like, we'll be back Sunday. You better not throw a party. There's some kids who are like, yeah, I'm not going to throw a party. But there's others like, those motherfuckers won't be back till Sunday. We're throwing a party tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what's happening with a lot of these small business owners. They're like, no, I'm not shutting down because when I am out of business, like we've seen a lot of other businesses do during this year, a lot of businesses have shut down. There are small business owners who are like, I'm not going to reach that same fate. I will not shut down. No. The city of Pasadena is like, no, we're not going to stop indoor dining. We're not going to stop outdoor dining. In fact, we're going to get our own council and our own health department, and that's what they've been doing. And it's happening countrywide, and it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a huge uproar. It might be some shit's about to get weird. The more they say don't do it, the more people are like, no, fuck the government. No, come make me. No.
Yeah.
It's about to get weird. So
it's about to get nuts. You want to get nuts? Anyway.
Let's get nuts.
So, okay, then what is the first thing you're going to do? Shaun, I'm going to start with you. What's the first thing you're going to do with a vaccine when you get one?
Oh, I was going to say watch everybody else get vaccinated. That's the first thing I'm going to do.
No, when you get vaccinated.
I don't know. I don't know. See, my thing is, I think people are looking at the vaccination wrong. They're looking at it as like a miracle cure for a disease that we all have, which is not necessarily true. It's kind of like, to me, it's like with the flu shot. We know tons of people who have never gotten the flu shot. And it doesn't mean that the world's going to die because some people haven't taken it. It's just one of those, I don't think it might change how we operate as a society. Like, okay, there are vaccines out there. We believe most people have taken it. So you can reopen, you can do this. But even if I get vaccinated, which I probably will, like I said, after a lot of people, I won't know that the person I'm walking by on the street is vaccinated.
That's true.
It won't change my life. It'll just alter, what's open and what I'm allowed to do. It won't change what I do personally. That's all, because I'm not going to know if the girl I'm talking to that I met on whatever whack ass dating site is vaccinated. It's not going to be one of my questions. How many kids you got? You go down on the first date. Are you vaccinated? Like, I'm not that's not one of my criteria questions. So I don't know.
True. Okay.
I respect that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
What about you, Jamal? Besides opening the business, anything else you want to do?
So I mean, as a person who's never gotten a flu shot, like ever, but I've gotten the flu like a million times. I get sick very often. It sucks.
You should probably get the flu shot.
I probably will. So like the virus vaccine is definitely like a safety net type thing, kind of like just making people feel more at ease, just being outside and being around.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, just to kind of ease everyone's tension about it. But me, I mean, when I get vaccinated, I'm probably gonna wait it out a little bit. Just make sure, nothing happens to me, make sure I don't, get fucked with genetically. But I don't know, man. Like, it's definitely gonna be weird around the time people start taking it. I'm almost certain, like, I definitely have a lot of friends who are gonna go straight on trips and shit and start traveling once they get that vaccine, or go back to downtown Fullerton, and shit like that. So yeah, like things are definitely gonna start getting crazy once the vaccine comes around. But I don't know. I mean, I'll probably take it. I'll probably take it easy a little bit.
Right. See what happens. Do me a favor, little bro. I love you. I respect you. I appreciate you. Can you turn the light, Carl?
I am dark right now. Look,
I feel like
I have an old ass car, so it's these lights.
Roll down the window. Roll down the window. Oh, you got a sunroof. Nice.
There it is.
There you go.
That helps.
I can't even tell it. It doesn't look that sunny outside my window out this way. So
that helps.
That's what's up.
I was looking. I was like, man, this is progressively getting worse.
Yo, he faded in the middle of this conversation. Yeah, man.
It's like
the creatures from Ghost just came out. Yeah, man. I just feel like I'm gonna just go ahead. Well, before we want to ask Jamal a question that we'd like to ask all of our guests, because we got to wrap it up soon. It's getting dark outside, so he's gonna have to return to the daytime. Real quick, let's get into our what the shit.
Yes.
Our what the shit. The fucking the internet, man. The internet is undefeated, and the internet got me. They took advantage of my Christmas spirit. They know that I love Christmas, and they know that I love the Grinch. And somebody got me. These motherfuckers got me. It was like, I think it's pretty dope that they have a new number to call the Grinch.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit, is it like Jim Carrey doing like a hotline thing? That's dope. Or it's like the writers of the Grinch put a hotline out, like kids can write letters to Santa, you can call the Grinch. I, like a fucking mark, call the fucking phone number, and it was like, you have reached the office of Nancy Pelosi. To me, I was
like,
what? Oh shit.
Well done, internet. Well done. You got me, internet. You fucking
That's
got
good.
Me.
That's good.
Motherfuckers got me, and I was like, you know what? Funny is funny. I like that one. That was cool. I'm thinking I'm talking to the Grinch. I was like, okay. I'm clapping at them. Oh, you know what?
Wow.
All right,
wow.
Internet.
And what is that number?
That's my what the shit. Right there. Oh, you'll see it on Facebook. Yeah. The internet got me. So before we get out of here, we got to ask our young brother Jamal. Young brother Jamal, I know you're a hip hop fan.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I saw what you did on the radio show today or yesterday. I saw what you was for the day. You know how I feel about it, but I'm not here to judge. I'm pretty sure you two have this in common. But who is in your top 5, sir? Go.
Well, as you might have heard on the morning routine, Jay-Z is my number 1. Number 2, Biggie. So I was talking with Eric about this for like 2 hours the other night. Wayne is still my number 3. And then Method Man's my number 4.
Ooh.
Number 5 is Drake.
Wow. Okay. So I'm surprised and not surprised, I guess. So I'm surprised you have people as old as Jay and Big. Not because they're not great, but you're just a lot younger. So I figured Jay would have been. Actually, I guess because if you were in high school, he put out a lot of formidable stuff during your teen years. So that kind of makes sense. That's where you really form it. But
and Watch the Throne was the first concert I went to by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That definitely changes things. There's a lot of cats who I remember having no clue about or not really knowing how I felt about them, and then I saw them live, and I was like, okay, I'm a fan. Okay, you got this. Drake, that's kind of obvious, I would say, for anyone your age. I'd see that.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I like that you have Method Man in there. I hate that you have Drake in there, but it's not my top 5, so it don't matter what I think.
Yeah, Method Man's dope. Speaking of Drake, we should have put this in the what the shit too, but he has a candle line coming.
Is he doing like
candles?
I heard about this.
You're gonna smell like
scented candles. There's one of them, I forget the name of it, but it supposedly smells like him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
So it's sweet. It smells like cinnamon buns.
Damn. Is that
It smell like
commentary
Canada,
on
man.
It smell like Canada.
Smells like
It
maple
smell like
syrup.
Canada.
I was gonna say so maple and fire.
Like
Yes.
maple syrup and kindness. It's a
Kindness.
kindness candle.
Kindness.
Sorry about the smell in the roomie. You're about to smell better.
I think that was a little too Irish on that one.
No, they say a boot. We're gonna get up out of your face. We want to thank our boy Jamal for stopping in with us. Check us all out, courtesy of him on True 100 Radio. This is the man in charge. This is the man, the myth, the legend. We want to thank you for joining us, Jamal. We appreciate it. Anything you want to say to the people? Anybody you want to shout out before we get up out of here?
Thank you guys for having me. You know, this is my favorite podcast on the station, True 100 Radio. Follow us on Instagram at True 100 Radio. You know, and it's funny because I texted Shaun that I was like, hey, you know, you guys are my favorite. You know, don't tell anybody else in the chat. But you know, but yeah, you guys are doing.
Everybody.
You guys are definitely dope. You guys are doing like real big numbers. I was looking at the analytics yesterday. You guys are doing great for us, man. You guys are popping in other countries. So thank you guys for doing what you guys do. Thank you guys for wanting to come on the platform. You know, just shout out to the rest of the True 100 Radio team. You know, we're doing good things. 2021 is gonna be great for us, and you know, just shout out to them. And, you know, shout out to the GCF guys too. You know, it's gonna be a fun year next year, hopefully.
Yeah, and shout out to you, man, for having us on the True 100 Radio. That's dope. You guys are pioneering some here in Orange County that I would have never even thought of, and we get to be part of that. So shout out for that too. Appreciate that. And all the True 100 fam, like we can't wait to see y'all again because it's been like a whole year now at this point.
I know it's funny. Everyone's in the group chat and like half the people like in there just don't know each other. So they're just like, who are these guys? Who are these OSP guys? Who are
right?
It's funny.
Fuck is OSP? Old niggas in here? You guys old heads? We appreciate you for having us. We're gonna get up out of your faces. Till next time, I'm Shaun Q. Be smart.
Jay Roman, we out.
Keep it old school.